True Sports episode 181 is on the air. I'm Taylor Phillips. He's Lewis Tenor. One more week until the 2025 MLB All-Star Game. Voting is
Yeah,
already hasn't it?
yeah. But what I don't get is Juan Soto. I mean, the year he's having, and the major contract he signed, and he's not in the All Star lineup. I mean, come on, he had a slow start to begin with, but he's picked it up, since May, and I think
I
he
think your
should be in the
volume
All Star.
is lowering down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So I think he should be in the All Star game with the numbers he's picked up and with the contract. So I don't see why he's not in it.
Well, same case goes for Zach McKinstry, except his month of May, he was only hitting 200. But other than that, he's had a red hot bat in April, June, and this month thus far.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I don't think he should be.
his month of May might be the reason why McKinstry is coming close, but not quite to the All-Star game yet.
Yeah,
At All-Star
I mean, a slow
caliber.
start. I don't think he should be penalized for not making the All Star game because when you step up, in the later weeks, I think it should be under consideration.
Right. Well, it's not like a penalty or anything like that. It's just well, McKinstry's hitting 283 with an 817 OPS,
Not
which
bad.
is not bad. Just not quite which is good. Just not quite all-star material, not all-star caliber material yet.
So I guess we need a 3 to make it All Star caliber.
Over 300 batting average.
Yeah,
with close to 1,000 OPS.
right. So I guess he's borderline right now.
Right, McKinstry,
Yeah.
yes. But the Tigers, man, they're starting to pull away with the best record in all Major League Baseball.
How do you like that?
Yeah, 59-34. Damn.
Is it too early to make a prediction for the World Series?
I mean, you can predict it like on paper style,
Yeah, I'm
if you
thinking
want.
Dodgers Tigers. Dodgers Tigers.
Either Dodgers Tigers or Cubs Tigers.
Yeah, that's my second choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they look solid, even though we still got about 12 weeks to go before, the end of the season. But the way it looks now, I don't see them surrendering so easily.
Right. And then you got some NBA news regarding Pistons shooting Pistons forward Malik Beasley. With his investigation, with his gambling investigation on NBA games, his gambling probe. That's why Trajan Langdon decided to move on from him and pursue other NBA players.
Not the first time a player's been subjected to gambling debts. Have Mac a lot in the old days too.
Pulling up Pete Rose, I see.
Yeah, but even goes back as far as the 1960s.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And one player was suspended for the entire year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alex Karras.
Of course. And then I did. I finally got a subscription to Advanced Hockey Stats, where I can look up like Mason Appleton, the latest Red Wings free agent signing acquisition. And his even strength offense percentile is 71%, but his goal scoring percentile is only 23%.
Only 23%?
Yeah. I could here. Let me open up a new tab here to
Yeah, okay.
advancedhockeystats.com.
All right.
Okay, cards, player cards, and now I share the screen right about now.
Okay.
Mason.
Ah.
Search. There we go. His projected WAR total is 43%. Like I pointed out earlier, even strength offense, 71%. Goals, 23%. Even strength defense percentile, just 17%. Ouch.
Oof. That's nasty.
65% penalties percentile. Competition percentile, 62%. Teammates percentile, 54. Finishing, 41. So he's 28 years old. He's a right winger on the third line. So yeah, pretty damn cool, huh?
Yeah.
Just $5 a month.
Hey, that's a good bargain.
Yeah.
$5 a month. Wow.
Yeah. Just not quite as great as Spreaker's Supporters Club, just $2 a month.
Right.
Or you can set your own price.
Yes.
As low as $2. But that's out there. So True Sports Report time. Go ahead.
And away we go. All right, we'll check over with the MLB things first. Some games are over, but remember it's Tuesday, and of course on Tuesday there is a lot of late games in progress. So we'll start off with the completed games right now. The Mets over the Orioles 7-6 in 10 innings. Diaz got the win, Kano got the loss, and Bryce got the save. Yuck. Your Tigers over the Rays 4-2. Canal got the win. Luke Utica got the loss, and Best got the save. Yankees over the Mariners 10-3. Warren got the win. Gilbert got the loss. Oh well. Red Sox over the Rays 10-2. Bello got the win. Freeland got the loss. The Marlins beat up on the Reds 12-2. Perez got the win, and Martinez got the loss. The Twins beat up on the Cubs 8-1. Woods got the win, and Magina got the loss. Brewers over the Dodgers 3-1. Mr. Gawinski got the win. Kershaw got the loss, and Miguel got the save. But Kershaw reached a milestone. We'll get to that a little bit later. And the Royals over the Pirates 4-3. Estevez got the win, and Santana got the loss. Now for games in progress, it goes this way. We got a rain delay in the top of the seventh as the Blue Jays are up on the White Sox 6-1. At last check, it was runners on first and second with 2 out. Alavea was pitching and Luke's are at bat. In the top of the third, no score between the Nationals and Cardinals. 1 out, nobody on. Gray is pitching and Adams is at bat. Bottom of the eighth, got a doozy here. The Guardians lead the Astros 6-5 with a run on second and 1 out. Young is actually we don't have the Padres is batting, but they don't know who's pitching. Okay.
You mean Isaac Paredes?
I said Paredes.
Yeah.
Paredes. But what can't do is pitching. Okay, something must be wrong with the stats here. Top of the fifth, Rangers lead the Angels 5-1. No one on, no one out. Alberghetti is pitching, and Seager is at bat. If you like pitchers duels here, I got one for you as the D-backs and Padres are scoreless in the top of the fifth. No one on, 2 out. Pavetta is pitching, and And Hernandez at bat. Top of the fourth. Okay. Top of the fourth here. The Giants lead the Phillies 1-0. Run on first, 1 out. Ray is pitching, and Kemp is at bat. Bottom of the second. The A's that are leading the Braves 5-0. Oh boy. Fuentes is pitching, and Clark is at bat. It could be a long night in Northern California for the Braves. Yeah. All right, we'll check the later scores later on. So now we'll go to the standings, and it looks like this. All right. Standings go this way. In the American League East, the Blue Jays, that's right, the Blue Jays are 53-38, have a 3-game lead with the Yankees, 50-41. Makes me sick. The Rays are 4.5 back at 49-43. The Red Sox are 6 back at 48-45. And the Orioles, the big disappointment this year, are 40-50 at 12.5 back. Well, a disappointment after having the last 2 seasons above 500, of course.
The Blue Jays, though, man.
Well, yeah. Tigers are rolling along 59-40 at 34 and are just creaming the rest of the division. As the Royals are 14 back at 45-48. The Twins are also 14 back. They're 44-47. The Guardians are 16 back at 41-48, and the White Sox bring up the rear as usual, 30-51, 30-61, 28 back. Forget it. In the West, the Astros 55-36 have a 7-game lead with the Mariners at 48-43. The Angels are 44-46, 10.5 back. Not bad, not great. The Rangers 44-47, 11 back, and the A's 37-55, 18.5 back, pending on completion of the game. All right. Okay, a tight race between the top 2 teams in the National League East. As the Phillies are 53-38, have a half-game lead over the Mets at 53-39. It's going to be close right down to the end of the wire of the season, folks. The Marlins are 42-48, 10.5 back. The Braves, a disappointing season at 39-50, 13 back, and the Nationals 37-53, 15.5 back. To the Central, the Cubs 54-37. Have a 2.5-game lead with the Brewers at 52-40. Yeah, watch out for them. At 6 back are the Cardinals at 48-43. The Reds are 46-46, 8.5 back, and the Pirates, what can I tell you? 38-55, 17 back. They can't get anything right. And the West, the Dodgers 56-37, have 5.5-game lead with the Giants at 50-42. Padres 48-42 at 8.5 back. D-backs 45-46, 10 back. Decent, but not great, of course. And the Rockies, well, this has been a joke all season, are miserable, pathetic, pitiful. Ready for this, guys? 21-71, 34.5 back, and we're now in July 8th. That is the saddest thing I've ever seen in the history of professional baseball. 21 wins, and we're in mid-July.
Yeah, they're on pace to only win 37 games.
Yeah, total. That's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Out of 162, that's a 37-125 record.
That's even worse than last year with the White Sox.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Another comic tragedy if I ever saw one. All right, tomorrow's schedule. All right, we got a pair of 2-10 games as the Dodgers take on the Brewers and the Blue Jays take on the White Sox. 3:45, the Phillies take on the Giants. At 5:10, the Rays take on your Tigers. The rest are night games. 7 o'clock, we got the Mets taking on the Orioles. The Mariners taking on the Yankees. That game will be on Prime Video. I get to watch it. The Rockies take on the Red Sox at 7:10. Good luck. Also 7:10 are the Marlins taking on the Reds. 7:40 games, we got the Cubs taking on the Twins, the Pirates taking on the Royals. 7:45, the Nationals taking on the Cardinals. 8:10, Guardians taking on the Astros. 9:38, Rangers taking on the Angels. 9:40, the D-backs take on the Padres, and at 10:05, the Braves take on the A's. All right. We got some other sports schedules to take about here. I don't know if it. Oh yeah, WNBA first. Only 2 games run tonight, as the Mystics hold off to beat the Sky 81-79. Reese got 22 points and 15 rebounds. Creighton 13 points and 8 rebounds. Liberty over the Aces 87-78. Young got the win. Young got 19 rebounds. Sabrina Ionescu 28 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Thank goodness. I don't know if it was in any NBA Summer League, but I do have some action here to mention here, so why not? I'm going to do it anyway. All right, so NBA Summer League goes this way. Right now, actually, just give me a second here. Yeah, because I'm viewing a game right now, actually, on my set here. The Spurs are leading the Lakers 32-29, 8:35 in the second. That's on ESPN Plus. The Jazz are being the Thunder being the Jazz 83-73, 8:38 to go in the fourth. The Sixers beat the Grizzlies 91-90. Wow. And the Warriors beat the Heat. Miami beat the Warriors 93-78. All right. And if anybody's into Women's Euro Cup, yeah, I have a few of those too, because that is a big tournament. And we had 2 games. We had 2 games on that today. Oops, hold on a second. As I said, it's a big, it's a semi-annual tournament that they do. But I do kind of follow European soccer, so here's how this went down. All right, in the women in the it should be here someplace. Oh yeah, Germany over Denmark 2-1, and Sweden over Portland 3-0. Action continues tomorrow at noon. Action continues tomorrow at noon with still in the first round games, as England takes on the Netherlands at 12, and France takes on Wales at 3. That 3 o'clock game was on Fox. If anybody's into MLS, we got New England taking on Miami at 7:30 tomorrow, and LAFC taking on Colorado at 10:30. Yes, folks, I follow that too. Go figure. And NBA, oh yeah, and WNBA tomorrow. Yeah, we got a few games here. Early games. The Storm take on the Sun at 11 a.m. The Valkyries take on the Fever at noon. 3:30. The Lynx take on the Mercury. At 8, the Wings take on the Sky. Kind of weird. 11 a.m. All right. Well, hey, it's summer. Why not? All right, so let's get on with our other news headlines of the day, or I should say of the week. All right. I got some news about the Utah Mammoth. They re-signed Senator Jack McBain to a 5-year, $21 million contract on Monday. The contract carries an average annual value of $4.25 million. The deal was announced one day after the Mammoth elected to take McBain, a restricted free agent, into salary arbitration. McBain had 13 goals and 14 assists while playing in all 82 games last season, his 4th with the Mammoth/Coyotes. Or I should say their ancestors. As Nuggets center Nikola Jokic approaches 30, like that's really old, the Nuggets plan on keeping him around for the foreseeable future. However, for one simple reason, the Joker will not make it. Will make them wait as he will not sign his extension this offseason, according to a report today from the Denver Post. Instead, the Joker will wait another year when a more lucrative deal arrives. If Jokic signed the extension, he would make a measly $212 million over the next 3 years. If he wants, he could earn. If he wants to wait another year, he could earn $292 million for next year. Either way, it's not chump change, though. Jokic, who has finished in the top 2 in MVP voting for the last 5 seasons, averaging career highs in assists this season. He led the Nuggets to the Western Conference semifinals, where he lost in the second straight year since winning their first title in 2023. A future Hall of Famer for sure. Jokic is a 3-time MVP, a 7-time All-Star, and a 7-time All-NBA selection. Tennis, anyone? I got one for you. Jannik Sinner, currently the number 1 player in the world, had to move to quarterfinals, but not the way he wanted to. Sinner lost the first 2 sets at the 4th-round match against Grigor Dimitrov yesterday, before Dimitrov was forced to retire to a pectoral injury. Ugh. Dimitrov was playing near perfect tennis, running Sinner around the court, and delivered booming saves. Dimitrov won the first set 6-3, and then 7-5 in the second set, despite Sinner making a comeback. However, and this is where it gets ugly, Dimitrov, who had been impacted by injuries throughout his career, one of his big serves left him grabbing the right side of his chest. Dimitrov was able to continue, but after another serve, it showed he was clearly in pain and had to take a seat on the grass, while Sinner and the medical staff went to check on him, and he never returned and was forced to retire from the match. So, by default, Sinner heads to the semifinal. Tough break. Man. 2-time Stanley Cup champion Tyler Johnson called it a career after 13 seasons. Johnson played 9 of those seasons. Played 9 games this season for the Bruins. The announcement was made on Instagram yesterday. After devoting his life to hockey, Johnson said, "I am ready for what's next." And Johnson said, "I am thrilled to be focusing on raising a family, exploring new paths. The moment is bittersweet. I love the game, but I have no regrets on calling it quits." Johnson is best known for his 9-year stint as a member of the Lightning, who he helped snap into a class of hockey. In 2015, he scored 15 goals in the postseason and took the Lightning to the Eastern Conference Final. Johnson won back-to-back titles with Lightning in 2020 and 2021. He then spent 3 years with the Blackhawks before ending his career this year with the Bruins. Ace Bailey's pre-draft process and start to his NBA career have been anything but ordinary. But once the former Rutgers standout and 5th overall pick in the draft hit the court, you can push the nonsense aside. Yeah. After working out only for certain teams and reportedly trying to steer himself into a preferred destination, the Jazz selected him 5th overall. He reported to Utah to prepare for the Summer League with his new squad, and the new star player is already shining on the hardwood. The Jazz are competing in the Salt Lake Summer League, a smaller competition ahead of the Summer League games in Vegas that begin on Thursday. Bailey and the Jazz took on the Grizzlies on Monday, where the Jazz newest star had quite a debut. He scored 12 points in the first half and drained 2 3-pointers, but there was no better highlight than the alley-oop slam he threw down off a lob of second-year guard Isaiah Collier. In Utah's first game in Salt Lake, he scored 8 points and 7 rebounds. The Jazz will finish the competition today against the Thunder before heading to Vegas for 5 games. Bailey's first home game against the Hornets. Bailey's first game will be against the Hornets on Friday. This could be good. The San Antonio Spurs have shut down rookie point guard Stefan Castle for the remainder of the Vegas Summer League with a sprain on his right wrist, the Spurs told the San Antonio Express. Castle was selected fourth overall last month's draft. He suffered the injury in the fourth quarter in his first Summer League game with the win over the Blazers. Donovan Clingan, his former UConn teammate, finished with 22 points and was 8 for 20 shooting with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Castle was seen wearing a wrap around his wrist while sitting on the bench during Sunday's game. The injury, though, is not considered to be serious, so we have nothing to worry about, folks. Well, if you thought Kyle Lowry's days of playing in the NBA were over, wrong. Lowry is signing a one-year deal with the Sixers, which will mark his 20th season in the NBA. That according to a Monday report from ESPN. Wow, 20th season. Lowry, a native of Philadelphia, spent the last 2 seasons with the Sixers. This past season, the former Villanova standout endured his worst season of his career. He only managed 3.9 points per game, his lowest average of his career, and contributed his fewest wins share since his rookie season in 2007. Lowry is best known for his 9th season with the Raptors from 2013 to 2021, making 6 All-Star appearances and became an icon for the Raptors when they won their first and only title in 2019. Oh yeah, I remember that. The Sixers this year finished the season at 24 and 58, their worst season since 2016. Yeah. The Indiana Pacers president of operations, Kevin Pritchard, told the media on Monday that the star point guard Tyrese Haliburton is expected to miss all of next season after suffering an Achilles tendon injury. Haliburton tore his Achilles tendon in Game 7 of the NBA Finals against the Thunder in a game where the star player was playing with an injured calf muscle. Haliburton went down with a devastating injury that saw the Thunder the win the title since moving from Seattle. It makes sense that the Pacers will be cautious with Haliburton as he recovers from his injury and as the cornerstone player for the Pacers. Haliburton averaged 8.6 points, 18.6 points, 9.2 assists on 47.2% shooting, and named to third team NBA for the second straight season. Okay. The Orlando Magic and Paolo Banchero have agreed to terms on a 5-year max deal worth $239 million. With maximum extension worth up to $287 million, source to ESPN. Banchero's new deal includes a player option for the 2030-31 season, marking this the first rookie contract extension that has included a player option since Luka Doncic and Trae Young did in 2021. He could reach a supermax deal next season by making an All-NBA team, All-NBA defense team, MVP, or as Defensive Player of the Year. Banchero was entering the 5th year of his rookie deal after he was first selected by the Magic in 2022. This past season, he averaged 25.9 per game and 7.5 assists. He missed 34 games due to an oblique injury, but looked healthy when he played. Those oblique injuries can be murder. Well, here's an interesting thing if you win a soccer game. Sunday night's MLS game between LAFC and Columbus ended in a 1-1 draw. That sounds so unusual because many games do end in a tie, but here's the interesting part. In the closing second of stoppage time, after Stefan Frey went down with an injury, the Sounders goalkeeper was seen driving to the direction of the ball on a Columbus Crew corner kick attempt. Medical officials were on the field to evaluate him as he was transported off the field. Seattle head coach Brian Schmitzer said after the game that Ferry was alert and evaluated for head and neck injuries. So it is an unusual way to stop a game, but that's how it went down. The NBA keep on coming. According to ESPN, the Jazz and Clippers are swung a 3-team deal that sends shooting guard Norman Powell to the Heat, forward John Collins to the Clippers, forwards Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 second-round pick from the Clippers to the Jazz. The Clippers facing a decision on Powell's contract worth $20.5 million and expires at the end of this upcoming season, 2025 and 2026. Said by Sport Track. The Clippers will need a lot. The Clippers will need to be conservative at their cap, given their stars Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are locked in for the next 2 seasons. Powell is coming off his best season in his 10-year career, averaging 21.3 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game, while hitting 41.3% from three-point range. Powell has been a reliable bench player for the Clippers, but has been thrown into the starting lineup after Leonard went down with a knee injury for most of the season. Collins recently exercised a $26.6 million option in his contract. The move will give the Clippers more depth in the front court after they signed center Brook Lopez in free agency. Love was reserved for the Heat, averaging 10.9 minutes per game in 23 appearances. Anderson is now on his third time after the Wolves traded him to the Warriors a year ago. The Warriors then sent Love to the Heat in February in exchange for, yes, Jimmy Butler. Okay. All right. After months of trade rumors floating around, it appears that Bradley Beal's time with the Suns is history. On Sunday, NBA insider Mark Stein reported that the former All-Star guard is exploring his options in anticipation of the Suns will buy out his contract. Stein additionally noted that there will be considerable interest once he becomes an unrestricted free agent as a result of the buyout. Beal is owed $110 million over the next 2 seasons, as the final year is his 5-year, $251 million deal that he signed in 2022. It will cost the Suns a few bucks to buy out his contract. The Suns could have copied the Bucks' strategy with Damian Lillard, use the stretch provision to spread out the cap hit over the next 5 seasons, but will be damaging either way. So they just can't win. Beal averaged 17.0 points and 3.7 assists in 53 games for the Suns last season. The severely underperformed relative to the cost of the roster, missing the playoffs and finishing under 500. The disappointing season already has consequences as Kevin Durant was traded to the Rockets in free agency. Okay, moving on. And by the way, hearts going out to the people of Central Texas for the devastating floods. Ugh. On Sunday, reality set in as fans of the Phoenix Suns as another surefire Hall of Famer has come and gone for the franchise's story history without winning a title. New Rockets forward Kevin Durant's tenure began with promise and plenty of scoring. His 26.8 points per game set a franchise record that stood for 50 years, but not even Durant could overcome the construction of a top-heavy roster, so the Suns will start again. On Sunday, with the trade now official, Durant gave his, shall we say, farewell address to his fans. During his 17-year career, he played for the Supersonics / Thunder, Warriors, Lakers, Nets, and Suns. Yeah, we could have won that series when he was with the Nets, too. We should have won it. Ronnie James, LeBron's boy, will enter his second NBA season in a few months after a much criticized first season, played mostly in the G League. But once he'll be playing in the Summer League and made his debut in style. Bronny had his best two-way play in the Summer League with a slam dunk and a steal against Miami Heat. And it got some serious hang time in the dunk as well. It was sort of play Bronny, hopes to make more often in the second season. He recently recently stated that he needs to be a menace on defense to get himself on the floor more often. The Lakers this season, more steals and fast breaks will help build a reputation on that front. LeBron will be entering his 23rd season in the NBA and will be playing alongside Bronny as the first father-son duo in NBA history. Question is, will this be LeBron's last year in a Lakers uniform? Will he go somewhere else at the end of the season, or will he just outright retire? Questions remain to be answered, but it is something to think about. I mean, he is past the age of 40 now, and he has the record for the biggest, most points scored all time. He's got titles, so I don't know. I think maybe this will be his last season. After 2 seasons with the Rockets, it's time's up for forward Cam Whitmore. The Rockets are trading Whitmore to the Wizards for 2 picks in 2026 and 2029, according to reports from ESPN and The Athletic. Whitmore was selected 20th in the 2023 NBA draft. Deployed mostly off the bench, Whitmore averaged 9.4 points this season, down from 12.3 in his rookie season. Could have done a little bit better, As the Rockets improved to a 52-30 season, but Whitmore's time had decreased. Yeah. The Grizzlies had an eventful day on Saturday. First, the Grizzlies traded center Jay Huff. Early in the evening, Huff had a breakout season last year as he stepped to an unexpected role in the starting rotation. 30 games into the season, it took very little time to find a replacement. A few minutes after the trade was reported, the Grizzlies assigned Jacques Landale. He will join Jaren Jackson Jr., Santi Amalda, and Zach Edey in the rotation. The Grizzlies made the postseason but lost to the Thunder in the first round and became the eventual NBA champions. It's official. NHL players will be competing in the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy next year. This will be the first time in 12 years that the NHL will allow its players to compete in the Olympics. The last time was in Sochi in 2014. Yes, I remember that. By an agreement between the IHHF and the NHL, will also allow players to compete in the 2030 Olympics, which are to be held in the French Alps. The International Olympic Committee welcomes the agreement between the IHHF and the NHL, and some of its fans as well, including me. That was said by IOC President Christy Coventry in a statement. The agreement will lead the participation of all the best players in the world for both the 2026 and 2030 games. All involved should be committed for their agreement. Well, thank you. All right, the St. Louis Blues signed center Plus Suter to a 2-year, $4.1 million contract. This will be Suter's fourth team in the last 6 seasons. The Swiss native has produced double-digit goal totals in the last 5 seasons, but enjoyed a breakout season this year with 25 goals and 21 assists. Hey, not bad. He began his NHL career with the Blackhawks in the 2021 season, scoring 14 goals in 55 games. He's also played for the Red Wings and Canucks. You played for the Blackhawks? Boy, I feel sorry for you. Wow. All right. Moving along. Okay. The Capitals are bringing back forward Anthony Belvinier on a 2-year deal worth $5.5 million extension on Thursday. The Capitals acquired Belvinier on March 7th from the Penguins for a second-round pick. This was his 6th different team after spending much time of his career with the Islanders and also spent time with the Canucks, Blackhawks, Predators, and Penguins. Belvinier played 18 games with the Capitals and scored 2 goals and 3 assists during the regular season. Yeah, 2 goals and 3 assists. He scored 2 goals and forced the postseason and has 140 assists and 131 goals in 631 games. And drafted by the Islanders 28th overall in 2015. Mm-hmm. San Jose Sharks signed unrestricted free agent defenseman Dmitry Orlov to a 2-year, $13 million deal last Thursday. Orlov had 6 goals and 22 assists in 20 minutes of ice time in 76 games for the Hurricanes. He was playing the final year of a 2-year, $15.5 million deal. Orlov has one Stanley Cup title with the Capitals, has 251 assists and 76 goals in 867 games with the Capitals, Bruins, and Hurricanes. Orlov was selected by the Capitals in the second round of the 2009 draft. So, yes, he's been around for quite a while. Free agent for Mo Wagner has agreed to a 1-year, $5 million deal to return to the Magic, source told ESPN. Wagner's agent Jason Gulshin reached a new deal with the Magic executives back on Thursday. The Magic declined Wagner's $11 million option earlier this summer, making him a free agent. Wagner sustained a torn ACL in December and was averaging 12.9 points per game and shot 52.6% from the field and 36% from the three-point range before the injury happened. Through 30 games, Wagner emerged as the sixth man of the year candidate and was leading the league in points among players under 20 minutes, as told by ESPN. And I think he has a brother in the league as well. All right. Bradley Beal is apparently done. That's right. Let's see. And Brock Bausner is staying in Vancouver. Boser. The Canucks announced on last Tuesday that they agreed to sign Boser to a 7-year deal worth $7.25 million a year, a total value of $50.7 million. Mm-hmm. Boser was one of the top free agents available in the offseason. A two-time All-Star, Boser has 230 assists and 204 goals in his 9-year career, all with the Canucks, with 25 goals and 25 assists last season. The Canucks were 6 points out of a playoff spot. What a shame. And last week, the Oilers made a move in free agency with the addition of a veteran winger. According to NHL insider Elliot Freeman, the Oilers and winger Andrew Magdalone came to terms on a 2-year deal with an average annual value of $3.6 million. Magdalone spent 7 years with the Flames before signing with the Capitals last season. He had a down year, though, with 14 goals and assists. The Oilers also lost Evander Kane, Corey Perry, Connor Brown, and Jeff Skinner, all to free agency. Magna should help fill the void with some of the absences and looks to return to form from the 2023-24 season. And the Lakers will add their front court next season after signing center Jackson Hayes to a 1-year deal, according to ESPN. The addition of Hayes may take out the running for center Al Horford, who was pursued by the Lakers upon any free agency. The Lakers now have 14 players signed to the roster for next season. Hayes is playing 56 games for the Lakers with 35 starts last season, averaging 6.8 points and 4.8 rebounds. Okay. Okay, so on now to page 2, as I like to call it. Just a second here. Yeah. Page 2. All right. Oh, like I said, our hearts go out to the people in Texas because I do have a story here on that, although not very. It's a very sad one. So just bear with me on that, of course. Uh, okay. So now moving on to page 2 here. If this page will load up. Okay, quickly. Okay. Janie Hunt, a cousin of Chiefs owner Clark Hunt, was one of the several people who died as a result of the severe flooding in central Texas. She was only 9 years old. According to a report from the Dallas Morning News, Janie was one of 27 campers and counselors who lost their lives at Camp Mystic, which is a non-denominational Christian camp for young girls. Our hearts are broken over the devastating floods and the tragic loss of so many lives, including 9-year-old Jamie, along with several other campers. Some of the campers. Clark's wife Tanya wrote on Instagram, adding several Christian messages of comfort in this time of sorrow. Janie was the great granddaughter of William Herbert Hunt, whose brother of AFL and MLS founder Lamar Hunt, Clark's father. So far, more than 100 people have lost their lives to the floods. Minnesota Twins star and Georgia native Byron Buxton will take part in the Home Run Derby at Trust Field in Atlanta on Monday. Buxton is one of the game's most exciting stars, yet he's also an injury-prone player, just like Carlos Stanton. Oh, sorry about that. In 73 games this season with a slash line of 270, 334, and 544, 20 home runs, and 16 stolen bases. His contributions have been worth more than 3 estimated wins above replacement, according to Baseball Reference calculations. With Buxton, James Wood, Carl Raleigh, and Roy Roncoon Jr., we now know at least 4 of the 8 participants in this year's Derby, which takes place on Monday night. The Nationals have named bench coach Miguel Cairo as interim manager for the rest of the season. The Nationals fired both manager Dave Martinez and general manager Mike Rizzo on Sunday, as they are now 37-53. Cairo was reportedly offered the role Sunday night after the announcement of Martinez's firing, but it took time to think it over. That, according to the Athletic. Miguel is well represented with the organization and around baseball, said interim manager Mike DiBartolo in a statement. A diligent student of the game, he has a proven track record of showing leadership in a variety of situations, and I believe his voice and energy will serve as a catalyst to the Nationals and our fan base in the second half of the season. Cairo joined the Nationals as a bench coach last season. In 2023, he worked as a league infielder coordinator for the Mets, uh, which he did for the Yankees from 2017 to 2020. He also was a bench coach for the White Sox in the 21 and 22 seasons. I didn't know very well. Cairo played in the majors for 9 different teams in 16 major league seasons, but never, and I repeat, never for the Nationals. Padres third baseman Manny Machado made his MLB debut in 22 with a lot of hype, and for the most part has lived up to it. Machado singled on Monday night against the D-backs to get his 2,000th hit of his career, becoming the 20th player in MLB history to do that. It was his 950th hit with the Padres, to go at 977 with the Orioles, and 36 in a short-lived stint with the Dodgers. However, his consistent power numbers at a fairly young age place him as an even more, you know, is even more exclusive list. He is the 12th player in MLB history to hit 2,000 hits and 350 home runs before he reaches age 32. The other 11 players in the live ball era are such legends as Babe Ruth and Mel Ott, and modern day greats such as Albert Pujols and A-Rod. Could Machado reach 3,000 hits and 500 home runs? Neither out of the question, of course, for one of the game's most durable players. He has 1,000 hits in the past 8 seasons and over 150 home runs in the last 7. Balance out the pandemic of the past, and with age decline to come, and more milestones could be on the way. Well, I hope so. The Dodgers have dealt with several injuries to their pitching staff over the course of the season, with the likes of Blake Snell, Roki Saki, Tony Golson, and Tyler Glasnow, and other starters banged up. The Dodgers are getting a much needed boost ahead of the All-Star break. Manager Dave Roberts told reporters on Monday that Glasnow is expected to return as early as tomorrow to face the Brewers. Good luck. Glasnow has not pitched since April 27th after landing on the 15-day injured list with a shoulder injury. He was then transferred over to the 60-day injured list. He pitched a total of 18 innings with 5 starts. He has a 4.50 ERA with 23 strikeouts and 11 walks. Having missed more than 2 months, getting the start before the break could be helpful for Glasnow, who will get a chance to rest during the break before getting stretched out for the second half. It is not clear what his workload will be for Glasnow's start, but the Dodgers are likely to use caution in his first outing since returning from the injured list. Yes. You do got to be careful with that. Because he hasn't done anything in a while, so I'd be cautious of that myself. Perhaps the biggest, as I mentioned, perhaps the biggest surprise is that Mets star player Juan Soto is not in next week's All-Star game. Now, I don't know what happened. I mean, he had a great season once the season got rolling, but still has been considered out. Soto got off to a slow start, but now he has on base percentage of 396, second overall, second in the National League, and fourth overall, with 21 home runs and an OPS of 9.4. Put those numbers together with any other player, and you would say, yeah, sure he's an all-star. Just because he's not putting up Soto type like numbers does not mean that he shouldn't be denied for his 5th all-star spot. I happen to agree. He should be able to be in it. Okay, because a slow start, a lot of players have slow starts, but when they pick it up, when say like in the after a month, they're in top form, and I think he should be in consideration for the All Star game. And Soto has been a good pitcher. I mean, good hitter for the Mets. I mean, he's bringing that team, close to playoff contention, so it could very well happen. I think he got a bum rap. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. This does not mean I'm a Met fan. So let's get it straight right now. But I say a good player should be in the All-Star game, especially what he's done over the past 2 months. Like I said, no, I'm not a Met fan. Okay, continuing on. Thanks, ball. Okay. Two-time home run derby champion Pete Alonso has declined to compete in this year's home run derby that'll be held in Atlanta. Alonso told reporters he was not competing in this year's event. He won the event twice in 2019 and 2021 and has participated in the last 5 years. I just decided not to compete this year, Alonso told reporters on Sunday of the July 14th event. I never enjoyed the 3 days off, so I want to be the best possible position to help our team win in the second half. I'm in a groove now with certain things. I will compete again, just not this time around. Alonso has been chosen to play his fifth All-Star game. He's batted .287 with 20 home runs and 73 RBIs in 91 games. Philly slugger Klaus Schwarber said he won't be part of this year's Derby contest. He competed in the 2018 and 2022 events. There's a good chance that he will compete in next year's Derby title, as the events will be in Philadelphia. Schwarber was selected to his third All-Star game by batting .251 in 90 games with 27 home runs and 63 RBIs. Other top players not competing are Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, although they do get the top votes for the All-Star game. Padres right-hander Yu Darvish has made his season debut against the Mets, against the D-backs. The five-time All-Star had been cited with elbow inflammation. He was cleared on Saturday after throwing a slide session. He was expected to be limited to 75 pitches. Darvish is now in his fifth season with the Padres. They are 39-32 with a 3.79 ERA in 100 starts with the Padres. Overall, Darvish is 110.88 with a 3.58 ERA in 22 starts with the Rangers, Dodgers, Cubs, and Padres. He missed all 2015 with the Rangers after undergoing Tommy John surgery. The Padres can use Darvish, as Michael King has been doing with a nerve shoulder issue and has missed 6 weeks. Dylan Cease is currently the number one starter. On May 14th, Darvish made a rehab appearance in El Paso and went 4 innings, but more elbow issues occurred after the start and pushed his return back further. Darvish did not make a rehab start this time around. Zach Gallen, star of the D-backs, in Game 1 of the 4-game series that began last night. As I mentioned, the Nationals fired Dave Martinez, manager and general manager Mike Rizzo on Sunday, 5 years after they're winning their first World Series title. Martinez, who helped the Nationals win the World Series in 2019, was in his second season as manager. Nonetheless, had only a 622 record in 7.5 years as a manager. After being swept by the Red Sox in the weekend series, 37-35 and 16 games at first. In a statement made by principal owner Mark D. Lerner, said that Mark DiBertolo will serve as team interim general manager, with the decision to be made on interim manager expected soon. DiBertolo was the Nationals' senior vice president and general manager of baseball operations. In a statement by Lerner, he thanked both Martinez and Rizzo for their contributions to the city and franchise and bringing a World Series title to DC. Though they were grateful for their past success, their on-the-field performance is not where they needed to be this season. This is a pivotal time for our club. We need a fresh approach, and new energy is needed to move forward. Martinez has a World Series title with the Cubs as a bench coach before taking his first job as a manager. Rizzo had been with the Nationals since 2007, first as assistant GM in 2007, then promoted to general manager in 2009, and was named president of baseball operations in 2013. Cowboys All-Pro K.A. Vontae Tupin was arrested in Allen, Texas, by the police on Saturday. Turpin is facing 2 misdemeanor charges from his arrest. He was booked 1 charge of possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, and unlawful carrying possession of a weapon. He was named the All-Pro last season as a return specialist. He had 2 touchdowns on returns last season. He started 2 games with 31 passes for 420 yards. Previously, Turpin played for TCU and in the, do I dare say it, USFL. Dodgers ace pitcher Clayton Kershaw has been named to the NL All-Star roster, thanks in part to Commissioner Rob Manfred as a Legends pick. It will likely be his last season in the majors, and given his 3,000th strikeout last week, Kershaw will be given the honor of being named to the All-Star team by Manfred as a gesture made as recognition for his long-standing career. This would be Kershaw's 11th appearance in the All-Star game in 18 years. Mets manager Carlos Mendoza was not happy with umpire John Bacon, and he let him have it. Mendoza was tossed in the bottom of the ninth in Sunday's 6-4 loss to the Yankees. Mendoza took exception to Bacon's call during that bat by Luis Torrens against Devin Williams in the final batting inning. Bacon made 2 straight ridiculous call-ups to ring up Torrens, and Mendoza goes nuts by yelling at him from the dugout before running onto the field to confront him, and probably call him every name in the book at that. Bacon threw out Mendoza in what was an epic meltdown. Mendoza started kicking dirt at the plate, a fantastic old school move, loaded with disrespect, then proceeded to get in the umpire's face and started screaming at him before pointing out where Bacon had misplaced the calls. Okay. Sad news here to report. Former White Sox closer Bobby Jenks passed away on Friday in Portugal at the age of 44. The White Sox issued a statement on Saturday. Owner Jerry Rizzendorf said we lost an iconic member of the organization. None of us will forget what he did in the ninth inning in Game 4 in Houston, and all Bobby did for the 2025 World Series champs and for the organization. Personally, I think that Game 2 homer by Scott Podsednik set the tone. Jenks was battling a form of stomach cancer. He was called up midway through to the 2005 season and ended up as the closer role. He saved 4 games in that postseason and earned their first World Series title since 1917. Jenks averaged 38 saves for 162 games per season from 2006 to 2010, second to Bobby Thigpen in franchise history. He signed with the Red Sox in 2011, but injuries derailed his career and received a $5 million malpractice settlement for his surgery that forced his retirement in 2012. In retirement, he wrote about the surgery, about his previous issues of substance abuse. On Saturday, Tigers second baseman and former Yankee Gilbert Torres drew a walk in the first inning against the Guardians. Only the next play ended in a total disaster. With 2 outs in the inning, Tigers infielder Riley Green bounced a grounder to Guardians second baseman Angel Martinez. Martinez flipped the ball to shortstop Ryan Ranchio, only for Ranchio to fall on Torres' elbow as he went to the ground. The tag left Torres on his back as Tigers trainers rushed to his side. A concerned Rushiero was standing over the third time All-Star. Torres ended up leaving the game, and the Tigers reshuffled their lineup. Torres signed a $15 million deal with the Tigers on December 27th. Torres has 9 home runs and 44 RBIs on the season. Oof. There was some friendly fire at Saturday's Game 2 between the Mets and the Yankees. In Game 2 of the Subway Series, Yankee shortstop Anthony Volpe accidentally hit Aaron Judge with a baseball. While it's normal for Judge to get the ball thrown heading off the field, this time Judge was not looking and was struck in the face. Oof. That's nasty. On the bright side, Judge said he did not suffer any serious injuries. A band-aid was placed near Judge's eye, but was able to continue to play. The Yankees lost the Mets 12-5, and Judge in 7 at-bats did not have a hit or a walk, and now has lost 6 straight games, the longest in 2 years. At the time of this report, I should say. They did win on Sunday. Speaking of the Yankees, they'll be without pitcher Clarke Schmidt for some time to come. Manager Aaron Boone told reporters on Saturday that Schmidt will undergo Tommy John surgery. This will rule him out for the remainder of the season and the majority of next season as well. Schmidt was placed on the 15-day injured list with right forearm tightness. He only lasted 3 innings during that outing on Thursday in an 8-5 loss to the Blue Jays. He told reporters after the game that he'd been dealing with tightness since June 4th against the Guardians. He gave up 3 runs in 5.2 innings. The D-backs activate outfielder Corbin Carroll from the 10-day injured list before yesterday's game against the Royals. Carroll been sidelined with a chip fracture in his left wrist. Returned to a spot in the field. He was injured as he was hit by a pitch from Blue Jays pitcher Justin Real. Carroll said before the game that his wrist had been feeling better and played in a minor league game in the Arizona Complex League yesterday to test it out. He has 20 home runs this year and leads the league with 9 triples. To make room for the roster for Carroll, the D-backs sent Tim Taiwa to AAA Reno. Another player was called out for popping off second after sliding in safely. With 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, Trenton Brooks hit a ball off the wall in right field. Adolis Garcia fielded off a bounce, making it as good as though Brooks beat the tag of Corey Seager. The Rangers challenged the play, and it was confirmed that Seager kept the tag on him. He alleviated above the bag. Yeah, it almost doesn't sound fair when you. Yeah, I'll say it doesn't sound fair when you consider middle infielders are allowed the longitude of the neighborhood play, an unwritten rule widely accepted to the point where the league had a page defending it. This is the second inning of the season. The first was in April between the Dodgers and Rangers when Wyatt Langford stole second but called out because he popped off the bag. The Rangers were playing the Padres on Sunday night, in case anyone was interested. Mariners slugger Carl Raleigh is on a roll as the All-Star crushed 2 more home runs on July 4th, bringing his total to 35. Raleigh leads the majors in 35 home runs, 3 ahead of Aaron Judge with the Yankees. He will compete in next week's Home Run Derby and finished yesterday with 2 home runs. Sunday's match with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. The Mariners are second in the AL West. At this time, their score was 46-42 and trailed the Astros by 7 games. The Cubs turned 4th of July into a home run derby of sorts. By the end of the 7th inning, the Cubs were up 11-1 with a slew of home runs in the lineup. Michael Busch and Pete Crow Armstrong hit multiple home runs, but the real highlight of the game was the new franchise record set by Busch, scored the 8th home run of the game, breaking the previous record of 7. Dansby Swanson, Carson Kelly, and Seiya Suzuki all hit home runs. The Cubs lead the NL Central by a wide margin as second overall in the NL. Coming into the 4th, the Cubs were 3 home runs at 131. The Cubs have now moved ahead thanks to yesterday's losses to the Dodgers and Yankees. The Cubs are the second team to get 8 or more home runs in a game this season, trailing only the Yankees, who had 9 in one game. The Cardinals hit 2 home runs in the top of the 9th, but lost 11-3. The Blue Jays hold the record with 10 home runs in one game back in 1987. Oh, yeah, I think I remember that. Okay. Here's an interesting story for the week. The Mets beat the Brewers 3-2 on Thursday. Starting pitcher David Pearson went 6.2 innings, giving up 1 run on 5 hits. By all accounts, it was a stunning performance, including the account of his son, who stole the microphone uh, with the force of conviction that Riley Curry did one time. Pearson's son was a natural on the mic, as it in his hands. It was a special moment. His father, though, had to ask him to give it back, but still, that was quite a moment. The Nationals placed right-hander Trevor Williams on the 15-day injured list with a right elbow sprain. Kelbert Ruiz was reinstated from 7-day concussion list and recalled right-hander Ryan Lotas from AAA Rochester and option to catcher Drew Millis to Rochester. Williams gave up 7 runs in 3 innings in last Wednesday's loss to the Tigers. He is 3-10 with a 6.21 ERA this season with 17 starts. Not a very good track record, but I do say so myself. Oh. Ruiz was struck in the head by a foul ball while sitting in the dugout in a road game against the Padres on June 23rd. He's batting .247 with 2 home runs and 24 RBIs in 66 games this season. Lotus 1-0 with a 13.50 ERA and 6 relief appearances with the Nationals and Dodgers. The Nationals claimed him off waivers on June 10th. Miles appeared in 3 games for the Nationals and went 1-7 at the plate with 1 double and 1 RBI. July seemed to be starting off as a bad one for the Yankees, as if June wasn't bad enough. The Blue Jays swept the Yankees in a 4-game series and now has taken the lead in the AL East. Addison Badger had 3 hits, to a home run, 2 RBIs. Nathan Lukes had 2 hits and 3 errors, and Jason Dominguez had 4 hits. Okay. The Blue Jays optioned opening scoring the first against Schmidt. Springer walked and came home on Barger's double. Grissom went off the third against Chris Bassett with a home run to center with a cutter. The Blue Jays regained the lead in the bottom of the third as Springer homered to third base. The Yankees tied the game in the fourth as Dominguez lined a triple threat into the score on single. Austin Wells doubled. Anthony Blobby doubled. Scored a wild pitch. Clayton Better took over for Schmidt in the fourth due to Foreman's tightness, giving up 3 runs, 4 hits, and 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Schmidt was removed from the game with tightness in his forearm. The Blue Jays took the lead in the fifth by a double by Lukes. Braden Fisher came in 6th, replacing Bassett in the 6th after a 3-2 out walk to Grisham. Bassett gave up 3 runs on 8 hits and 3 walks and 9 strikeouts. Aaron Judge led 7 on infield, took on a single from Cody Bellinger and scored on a double by Jazz Chisholm Jr. After Dominguez struck out, Chad Green replaced Fisher. Green returned Volpe on a ground out, but Bellinger still scoring the play to cut the Blue Jays' lead to 6-5. Wells drew a walk, put runners on corners by Giancarlo Stanton, grounded out, and the threat was over. George Springer put the game out of reach with a 2-run homer in the 8th off Luke Weaver. Jeff Hoffman got his 21st save despite giving up a double in the 9th. The Angels placed rookie second baseman Christian Moore on the 10-day injured list with a sprained right thumb. In a corresponding move, the Angels signed the contract of shortstop Chad Stevens. From AAA Salt Lake, he was scheduled to bat 9th and started to go to second base in his first NHL season on Tuesday. Moore dove in an attempt to grab Ozzy and Haley's grounder in the middle from a single for a hit, for a base hit, and left the game in their sixth and 8-3 loss. Moore was replaced by Kevin Newman. Anytime you see this type of injury, you fear the worst, said Angels interim manager Ray Montgomery. The best case scenario is Moore could miss 2 weeks. Moore made his MLB debut on June 13th. He batted 159 and 253 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in 18 games. Moore was selected by overall 8th over Moore selected 8th. Yeah, just like that. All right. As for Stevens, he was batting 307 with 14 home runs and 43 RBIs in 72 games at Salt Lake. The Angels also reinstated right-hander Hector Neris, who was 3-0 with a 5.14 ERA, 19 strikeouts, 7 walks, 14 innings, with 20 relief appearances this season. Neris also pitched for the Braves this season and was 0-1 with a ridiculous ERA of 45.0, giving up 5 runs in 1 inning, giving him a combined 7.0 ERA or 15 innings this season. Bad. Dodgers, Dodgers have placed third base with Max Muncy on the injured list with a bone bruise and has left me. The announcement was made on Thursday. Muncy, Muncy has the injured list after White Sox outfielder Michael A. Taylor attempted to steal third base and collide Muncy's owner, while coming with Muncy's lower leg in Wednesday's 5-4 win. Muncy tagged out Taylor, but went down, clutching his knee and had to limp off the field with assistance from the athletic trainer, namely Thomas Albert. According to reports, Muncy could be seen out for 6 weeks with the injury. The two-time All-Star this season has 13 home runs and 55 RBIs. Luis Ortiz is on leave after MLB investigates gambling allegations against the Guardians pitcher. It turns out the investigation was prompted by 2 individual pitchers, according to ESPN, and the betting integrity firm IC360 sent an alert to sportsbooks about Ortiz in June. The alert, according to sources who revealed it as a reference of action. Now Ozzy's first pitches and things to hit a ball or hit baseman 2 games. The first was on June 15th, and the second one was on and June 27th against the Cardinals. In the bottom of the second against the Mariners, at the top of the third strike, the third against the Cardinals, Ortiz threw 2 pitches, and Wells outside the strike zone. Bets in New York, New Jersey, and Ohio were red flagged in the alert. Some sportsbooks allowed betting on the result on the first pitches in a given inning. Some sportsbooks allow John Boy Media found the pitches to be outside the strike zone. Braves outfielder Jarek Jackson Profar played in the franchise's first series since late March, going 3 for 15 in the series opener, the series sweep against the Padres. It was a rough start for the new outfielder, which was shortly after he was suspended for 80 games for PDUs. Profar returned to the lineup on Wednesday after he completed suspension and made sure his debut in front of the home crowd at Turner Field. At Turner Field. Okay. While the Braves, with the Braves leading 7-2 against the Angels in the bottom of the ninth, he turned into an 89 miles per hour fastball and a changeup by Hunter and Strickland, and launched a solo blast into the ninth. By all means, it was a successful home debut of Profar, going 2-for-4 in an 8-3 win. The Braves, 39-46 last season, Profar's return could give the Braves a spark entering the second half, and they could use it, folks. Clayton Kershaw recorded 3,000 strikeout Wednesday night against the White Sox. He entered the game with just 3 short of 3,000 strikeouts. He recorded number 3,000 in the sixth as he struck out Vinny Carpa to reach that milestone. Congratulations, it is. Kershaw is the 20th pitcher to reach 3,000 and the first time since Max Scherzer in 2021. Major League Baseball announces All-Star starters for the All-Star game to be held in Atlanta on July 15th. Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge will lead off the American and National Leagues. As a matter of fact, I have a list here. American League stars: Carl Raleigh of the Brewers, catcher. First base: Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Padres. Second base: Gilbert Torres of the Tigers. Shortstop: Jacob Wilson, A's. Third baseman: Jose Ramirez, Guardians. Outfielder: Aaron Judge, Yankees. Outfielder: Freddie Green. Outfielder: Javier Baez, Bites. DH: Ryan O'Hearn, Orioles. For the NL, catcher: Will Smith of the Dodgers. First base: Freddie Freeman, also the Dodgers. Second baseman: base Ketel, D-backs. Shortstop: Frisco Lindor of the Mets. Third base: Manny Machado of the Padres. Outfielder: Ronald Acuna Jr., Braves. Outfielder: Pro Armstrong, Cubs. Outfielder: Kyle Tucker of the Cubs. And okay, we on. The Guardian shortstop Gabriel Arias is on a 10-day injured list with a left ankle sprain against the Cubs on Tuesday. And recall infielder Brian Rocchio from AAA Columbus. Rocchio was in Cleveland when the Cleveland's lineup at shortstop, batted ninth, and played shortstop in the series opener. Arias was taken off the field on a cart. He was injured in the third inning in Sunday's game against the Cardinals. X-rays, though, were negative, thank goodness. And Arias underwent MRI on Monday. It looks like we got lucky. The manager, Stephen Voigt. It looks like a mild ankle sprain, so we'll have to wait for more information once he returns from it from the road trip. He could be missing 6 weeks. He went deep in a hole to field a grounder by Mason Wynn with 1 out, but caught his left spike on the grass and awkwardly rolled his ankle. The ball would end up left for a single. Arias then grabbed his ankle and was down for several minutes. Rocchio started with the Guardians this season, but he was sent out of AAA on May 12th, after only hitting 165 with 8 RBIs in 35 games. In 41 games for Columbus, he had 252 with 7 home runs in 30 games. Tigers outfielder Kerry Carpenter headed to the 10-day injured list with a right hamstring issue, according to AJ Hinch last Tuesday. The Tigers plan to recall Tree Sweeney of AAA Toledo in a corresponding move. That was before the start of the game on July 1st. Next series against the Nationals. MRI showed no major damage to Carpenter, but Hinch said the Tigers will be cautious with Carpenter with 12 games left before the All-Star break. Carpenter is ranked 257 with 16 home runs and 32 RBIs in 70 games this season with the Tigers. Sweeney had batted 221 with 4 home runs and 23 RBIs in 70 games with the Tigers last season. He was sent down there to Toledo on Saturday. The San Francisco Giants placed outfielder Casey Smith on the 10-day injured list with inflammation in his left hand. Schmidt played last Wednesday when he was hit by a 95-mile-per-hour fastball from Marlins pitcher Calvin Boucher in the ninth inning. Giants infielder Tyler Fitzgerald was recalled from AAA Sacramento before the start of a 4-game series with the D-backs. Right. Fitzgerald was batting .230 with 2 home runs and 17 RBIs in 57 games with the Giants. Schmidt was selected in second round of the 2020 draft. He is hitting .276 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs in 34 games. Okay. Adolis Garcia, yeah, he's a bad man. His Texas Rangers were on the verge of an extra inning loss on June 30th after a go-ahead home run by Orioles shortstop Gunnar Henderson in the top of the 10th to power a 3-run inning. Garcia walked up to the plate with 2 out in the bottom of the 10th to restore, and that's what he did. The ball quickly flew off his bat over the left field wall at Global Life Field, and even the score again. The clutch home run was not only the story, though it was an epic celebration for Garcia after making contact with the ball. From the broadcast signal, Garcia turned his head and making contact and let out a ton of emotion, but the close-up shot was even better. He faced Orioles dugout, and fired up into the crowd and himself, and did not begin his home run trot until after the ballpark left of the stadium. However, it was the end of the premature celebration as the Orioles put 4 runs in the 11th, for a 10-6 victory. All right, I think that's about it. Yeah, I'll put right there. I'm just going to now go through some late scores here. As we're in back in WNBA mode. NBA Summer League mode, as the Spurs are still up on Lakers 88-82 with 90 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And the Jazz hold off the OKC Thunder 86-82. But remember, it's Summer League, so it doesn't really matter that much. Over to baseball for the nightcap games, it goes this way. Top of the 8th, the Cardinals lead the Nationals 4-2 with a runner on first. Romeo is pitching, and Garcia Jr. is at bat. And where for Arthur Romeo? No, sorry. Bottom of the 9th, I think it's safe to say this is going to be a win here, as the Rangers are all of the Angels 13-1.
Whoa.
Yeah, with 1 out. So I don't see a major comeback coming here. Duran is pitching, and Ward is at bat. Yeah, like anything's going to happen.
Me neither.
Bottom of the eighth, Padres are holding on to a 1-0 lead with the D-backs. Run around first with 2 out. Curtis is pitching, and Diaz is at bat. And also in the bottom of the eighth, the Phillies lead the Giants 3-1 with 1 out. And runners on first and second. Roberts is pitching, and Chapman is at bat. And finally, in the top of the seventh, the A's are having a field day with the Braves as the A's leading 10-1. 2 out, nobody on. Steiner's pitching, and White is at bat. Braves are even losing the A's now. Wonders never cease. All right, so that's going to wrap up my report. I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. That's True Sports episode 181. We'll be back with episode 182 sometime next week. Until then, for Louis Tenor, I'm Taylor Phillips. Stay tuned. Believe it or not, it's True Sports. Good night, everyone. Have a good week.
Good night, folks.